Welcome, Biddy Brigade, to the Witty Biddies of Nevada, the podcast where the history is old, the stories are bold, and the sass is, well, older than the Comstock.
Today we're rolling into Dayton, Nevada's oldest settlement, the place where the first gold was found, and the town that watches Virginia City brags and says, "Sweetie, sit down."
Dayton is the friend who did all the work on the group projects, then watched someone else get the A, the extra credit, and the parade.
And before we dive in, this episode is a part of our brand new Highway 50 series, where we're rolling out through every old town along the loneliest road in America.
Each stop has its own flavor, a little history, a little mystery, a little chaos, and at least one ghost who refuses to mind their own business.
Dayton is on our first stop, the beginning of Nevada, the beginning of Highway 50's story, and the beginning of us asking, why does every town on this road have at least one haunted building and one person named Buck?
So buckle up, Biddy Brigade. The road is lonely, the towns are weird, and Dayton is where it all starts. How Dayton became Dayton.
Before it was Dayton, it was a Paiute gathering place along the Carson River, a lush green ribbon in the desert.
Then in 1849, a group of exhausted prospectors stopped to wash their pans and accidentally discovered Nevada's first gold, which is the most Nevada thing ever. I was just trying to clean something and suddenly I'm rich, which I wish that would happen to me.
Yes. Meanwhile, Virginia City is still warming up in the bullpen. Before Dayton, it was called Chinatown. Now, here's the part most people don't know. Before the post office, before the name Dayton, before the Comstock Circus rolled in, this place was called Chinatown.
And not as a nickname. That was the actual name used by miners and travelers.
Because the first permanent settlement here wasn't a white mining camp. That sounds racist, Sherry. I know it's true, but okay, let me. All right. It was a Chinese community along the Carson River.
And y- it does sound a little racist, Rosa, but we are the witty bitties. So we are trying to give you the history that we found. But yeah, it's true. It was the Chinese community. While white miners came and went like tumbleweeds with commitment issues, the Chinese miners stayed. They built cabins, they planted gardens, they opened stores, laundries, and supply stations.
They worked abandoned claims and made them profitable. They created stability in a place that was otherwise chaos, excuse me, with a running river through it.
So when people talked about the area in the 1850s, they didn't say Dayton, they said Chinatown was on the Carson.
Wow, I never knew that. It wasn't
Yeah.
until 1861 when the post office arrived and said, "We need something more official," and the town was renamed Dayton after surveyor John Day.
But the roots, they're Chinese and they run deep.
So next time someone tells you Virginia City started everything, just smile and say, "Actually, it was Chinatown, and I learned that through the Witty Bitties."
Yeah.
The town that grew by accident.
Okay, once gold was found, the town exploded. Miners, merchants, gamblers, and people with questionable intentions all showed up.
Dayton became a supply hub for the Comstock lode. Wagons rolled in, saloons popped up, and the Carson River became the town's lifeline.
It was rough, it was rowdy, it was dusty, and it was full of characters.
Like the saloon owner who kept a pet rac- like the saloon owner who kept a pet raccoon that stole miners' coins.
Oh, I think that owner trained that raccoon.
I heard they could
Or
be trained. Oh, who knows?
or the blacksmith who swore his anvil was haunted.
Or the woman who ran the boarding house and could silence a room with one raised eyebrow. I know a lot of women like that.
Yeah. Honestly, she could have run the entire Comstock with that eyebrow. All right, let's get into a little mini story of the gold pan that wouldn't shut up. I wish I had a gold pan that wouldn't shut up.
No joke. Okay, Biddy Brigade, mini story time. This one comes from an old Dayton family who swears it's true.
Back in the 1870s, there was a miner named Silas who had a gold pan he claimed was lucky. He said it hummed when gold was nearby.
Everyone thought Silas was just dehydrated, or drunk, or both. Probably both.
Mhm. One day, Silas is down by the Carson River, and the pan starts humming like a mosquito with an attitude.
He digs, he pans, he finds nothing.
But the pan keeps humming louder and louder until finally Silas throws it in frustration.
It lands upside down, and underneath it, a rattlesnake.
Turns out the pan wasn't humming, the snake was.
Silas survived. The pan did not. And the moral of the story is if your gold pan starts singing, leave.
Yeah, big time.
The women of Dayton, the real bosses. Dayton women were the backbone of the town. They ran boarding houses, stores, laundries, and half the social order.
There was Mary Dutch Mary Berryman, a businesswoman who fed half the miners on the river, and Julia Burlett visited often, bringing her own brand of Comstock glamour.
These women kept the town running while the men were busy blowing things up, digging holes, or arguing about ore quality.
As usual, they're always complaining. The flood that tried to end Dayton.
In 1870, the Carson River flooded so badly it washed away buildings, bridges, and half the town's patients.
But Dayton rebuilt because Nevada's towns don't die. They just get dustier and more stubborn. Ghosts, legends, and the old cemetery.
Dayton Cemetery is one of the most oldest in Nevada, and it has stories.
There's the miner who supposed there's the miner who supposedly still walks the hillside looking for the gold he lost in the flood. There's the woman in the blue dress who appears near the old schoolhouse. And there's the gambler who whispers warnings to people who cheat at cards.
Dayton's ghosts aren't scary, they're just opinionated. A little mystery taste. Highway 50 Arc.
Before we wrap Dayton, here's a little Highway 50 mystery breadcrumb.
Somewhere along this road, not saying where, there's a stone building where travelers swear they hear a piano music at night.
No lights, no footprints, no people. Just a melody drifting like it's been waiting decades.
We will reveal that town later in the series.
All right. Here's your time, biddies. Let's get that hotline going. Biddy Brigade, tell us your best Old Town stories, the time you wandered into a historic building and felt like someone from 1860 was judging your outfit.
And you know I love my bonus points. So it involves gold pans, ghosts, or raccoons with sticky paws.
This has been the Witty Biddies of Nevada, where the history is deep, the stories are wild, and the towns are tougher than the Comstock mule.
Stay tuned, Biddy Brigade, because our next stop on the Highway 50 series is Sutro, a town built on big dreams, bold engineering, and one very ambitious tunnel.
And remember, if you're gonna be a biddy,
Be sure to be witty.